Hey, everybody. Hi, Sonder family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have found an opportunity to play in the middle of the week with your Sonder family. And Bailey and I are so glad to welcome you. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator tonight as we work on these two pages in our journal, our play prompt page and the affirmation clouds. And we're just really glad that you've made time for yourself, that you've got your journal, you're ready to go. I'm coming to you from Texas tonight. I'm actually coming to you from College Station. If there's any Aggies out there, my mom lives in College Station and we've got a couple of doctor days. And so that's why I'm hanging with her. Oh, you were born there, Mandy. That's fun. So that's where I am tonight. I'm not home, but I am set to play with Sonder family. These are fun pages. I've got some great ideas for you to kind of lean in and embrace these prompts so that they speak to you personally. And Bailey is my co-pilot tonight, my co-facilitator, and she'll be hanging out in the chat. She'll answer any questions you might have along the way, and do her best to answer those. And if not, she'll point you where you need to go for that. Make sure that your chat is set to everyone so that if you share, everybody can see that message. Now, this is if you, I know we've got a couple of first timers. Is there anybody else? Drop a me there if this is your very first time to come to a social, or even if it's like maybe your first time to come to like maybe you've done a setup but you haven't done like the journal pages. I see Kimberly's with us and Katie's joining us. You will find so much camaraderie here with our Sonder family. You can see everybody saying hey to each other. You come to enough of these, and we just have a family that's out there, this wonderful virtual family. And I think that is pretty cool when you think about our theme this month, that it kind of shows us that we can play with one another without being in each other's presence. This is just great. This is great. I'm seeing lots of good stuff in that chat, a lot of welcoming. So know that you are never alone. You've got your Sonder family. We like to play together. Sometimes we cry together. Kind of depends on the prompt. So we're just really glad that you're along for the ride tonight. So as you know, whenever we're together, we do share our community guidelines. These guidelines are there for Sonder Club, for the app, for our times together. We always want to remind you, we create safe spaces for one another, and always be good to yourself and be good to one another. And yes, Brenda's saying, this is where we figure out life together. And we think we've got it all figured out, and something comes along, and we've got our community to help us through, to remind us, how to do life together. So our agenda tonight, we're going to do an opening activity. That's really fun. And then we're going to work on those 3 prompts that are on page 14, those play prompts. And I've broken them down and I've framed out some ideas for you to start thinking about, maybe the approach you'd like to take as you look at those questions and those prompts. And then we're going to work on our affirmation cloud. So just a really fun, affirming night ahead with one another. Now, those of you who've been to socials with me before know I am a retired early childhood person. I taught kindergarten for about 8 years, did preschool stuff while I was in college. And then I went to the administration side of things. So I have had little kids in my life other than my own, like my whole career. So I've always had opportunities for play. And I'm telling you, I think it kept me from getting burned out because I could always go down to a classroom and grab some Play-Doh, or go out on the playground and push a kid on a swing or blow bubbles. So I'm really fortunate that in my career, I was able to incorporate a lot of play. I think it's so important for adults to be able to do that. And it's hard to find time sometimes, right, to carve out play. So we're going to be hanging out, looking at what play looks like for us as grown-ups. And Paula, you've been teaching preschool for 30 years. Okay, so you get it. You're one of my people. You're either 4 years old or you're a preschool person. Those are my people. So There are so many benefits when you are intentional about working in play in the different areas of your life. Play helps you say goodbye to stress. Now, I love this slide. If you want to grab a screenshot just so you can go back and look at it later. But play also does something that's real important. It stimulates our brain and it improves that functionality, which is super duper important. You get a lot of firing synapses when you play because lots of times, you're using different parts of your brain when you are in play mode. So it's so good for brain. I'm real into brain stuff now that I've hit the glorious 60s. I really want to keep that brain sharp. It does increase and improve that emotional well-being. I mean, it makes you happy, right? Go blow some bubbles and then tell me you're still mad, right? I mean, it's just kind of fun. And then when your head is in a good space, your productivity is going to be, revved up. So it's going to boost your productivity. It will help prevent work the burnout feeling at work if you can find ways to take that break and incorporate play in your work. And again, that's what I was saying. I feel very fortunate that I was able to do that very easily. And it gives you refreshment to your mind and your body. It's like a cold drink of water. It just gives you that refreshment. It's a natural healer, that play, that movement, the feelings you get. It's so, so good for you. So, with that in mind, all those benefits for adult play, we're going to talk about some playful moments as our opening activity. And you can do this. I did mine on a scratch pad. You can do this on a blank page in your thoughts journal. If you have notes, we're kind of getting to the end of the month. You might not have as many notes pages left in your journal, but find a space where you can have room to write about 5 moments that sparked silly, weird, or playful side of you. And then think about what might you do to cultivate more time for this. How can you make sure that those kinds of moments are coming forth for you? And I have some ideas for you to think about if you feel like, I don't know where to get started. You can define a time period for this. So you can look at the past month or year, you can look at the past decade, or maybe you just think over your whole life, what were the 5 tops? I scrolled through my photos and my calendar for the last couple of months and pulled my 5 things that were silly and fun. Maybe there was one super duper fun thing, some event or an episode that was just crazy, great fun, and you can pull all 5 things from that one incident. Maybe think about embracing each one of your senses and how that looks through that playful moment. You could maybe think about you were stuck in a not so great situation, but then it ended up in resulting in laughter and something hilarious. Also maybe start thinking about people you could might have been with or a place, why you were there and what brought you to that. And so I'll share my 5 moments really quickly. My little granddaughter turned 3. It was a unicorn birthday. I borrowed unicorn blow up costumes from a friend and my husband and I put those on. I think I shared this at the Coloring Social last month, so or a couple weeks ago. So yes, unicorns. um I am in the process of mother of the bride shopping, and I have this vision of this beautiful gown that I'd like to wear. And then I went with one of my dear, dear friends, and we just found ourselves laughing in the dressing rooms because I don't have the body. I see I see myself one way, and then I put these column dresses on, and it is it's hilarious. And we were just laughing because I looked like a sparkly pickle and I gotta find the right, fit for it. But we had so much fun. I didn't get down on myself. I'm made the way I'm made. I have that vision, but I'm going to change it around. Um, I do a thing called I found a quilted heart, and it's just kind of one of those spread the love, and you leave a heart somewhere in public for people to find. And I have so much fun doing that because I hide them, like I hide them in the library or I'll hang them, on a bush in a parking lot for somebody to find. And I just get the biggest kick out of thinking about what somebody's going to do when they move something and there's a heart there for them. We go to the downtown concerts in our little town, and I have so much fun there. It's just fun. It's fun to watch people, and it's fun to listen to music and pretend that I'm 18 at a concert again, only I'm sitting in this big old lawn chair. And then the one of the my last thing, my number 5 is we took a little road trip with our first grandson. He is 6 years old, and it was all about him, and that whole weekend was seeing life through the eyes of a six-year-old, because it was all about him, and it was so good for our soul to do that, and so when I think about that, it's important for me. I need to cultivate more by saying yes. I may be tired, but get up anyway and do the thing that may make me feel like I have a little playful moment, and then just not always taking things so seriously. That's just kind of that reminder for me. So I'm going to put on some music. I want you to work on this prompt. I'll go back to the original question, and then I'll come back to this slide as well for some inspiration, and share in the chat the things that are coming for. We want to play with you. We want to know those 5 moments in your life. I'll be back to check in with you in just a few moments. Okay, so my favorite, I think, well, teaching a kitty cat how to fist bump, that is that is so fun. You guys are amazing. So when you stop and take a moment to reflect on that, I mean, there was, the scientific study of the best hamburgers in town. I saw a lot of things about hanging with littles, whether it was your grands, someone you're related to, whether you teach. There's lots of volunteer opportunities too. If you need to have some littles in your life, our public libraries would love to have volunteers help there. So you can find ways to get a little bit of littles in your life because you can't help but play when you are around kids. I'm challenging Luann to go to a conference and dance in public. And then we want feedback if you survive that fun moment. Love seeing the idea of grocery store dancing or singing. They've always got the best music piping in while you're pushing that buggy. Why not dance, right? You might bring a smile to someone. And man, if you can take a chore like grocery shopping, and turn it into a playful moment, then that's a win for your brain, right? Because we know that this is very scientific. It's very serious stuff to play. I saw charades with coworkers, making your drinkies even more fun by putting them in fun glasses. There's just a lot of little ways we can embrace, and we might just have to really be intentional. There's a financial advisor here tonight who said, my my day is dry. And so that's where the charades with coworkers came in to kind of break that monotony. So very intentional space for figuring out how to work play into those professional moments. So thank you for sharing. What a happy chat. I again, these pages are so fun tonight getting to play together. So I'm going to invite you now to open your journal to page 14. And we have 3 prompts. I've split them up so we have time to work on each of them. Our first one is the question, what does play mean to you and how does that make you feel? And I'm going to refer back to that very first page in our journal this month where it's the definition. And you may have already defined it, April 1st. And I want you, maybe you'll go back and look at that. Has it changed as we've been working through these ideas about play in our life? Do you need to tweak that a little bit? And as you're thinking about how it makes you feel, consider, how does play affect your health and wellness? How does it affect your energy levels, your attitudes? How do you feel creative? Are you more creative when you embrace more play? How about your mindfulness moments, in your relationships? How does that all kind of play in together when you are working with one another? So when you think about play, we get to define it, right? What is play to us? And it can look like so many different things. It can be anything from eating a treat to exercising to just being silly to coloring in your journal to taking a very slow, long bubble bath. You get to define what play is. So there's a whole lot of reminders there for you as you're kind of framing out what play means to you. I told Bailey, I even put the infinity symbol there because there's not one right answer here. So I want you to consider this prompt and kind of dig into how, when play is in your life, how does that affect those different parts of who you are? I'll be back to check in with you in a moment, and feel free to share in the chat as you're comfortable. As I'm watching the chat, I'm noticing, if you were here for the month of nostalgia, that when that was our theme, that was back in the winter, play really does kind of tap into that nostalgia. We start thinking about play as a child. And, someone mentioned, sometimes this is a little tricky for me. I was an only child, or I was a younger child with much older siblings. So I kind of had some solitary play. It wasn't maybe as, freeing or expressive. And so, now's the time to grab onto that. That's why we do these different themes every month, because for all of us, it meets us where we are and it helps us figure out how we can grow as a person. I saw lots of fun words in the chat related to the answer of this prompt, things like whimsy, gratitude, wonder, joy, fancy, inner child, freedom, judgment-free zone. And I'm thinking, well, no wonder it's so good for our brain. I mean, look at those beautiful words that embrace play for grown-ups. So thank you for working on that reflection. Now we're going to take a look at that second question, which is what is your earliest memory of unhinged play and how has the role of play evolved for you over the years? And like I mentioned earlier, for me, it kind of never went away because, I had my, teenage years, but then I jumped into college and started studying little kids and then I worked with little kids. So I've always had play at my fingertips, but I also want to pull out that word, unhinged play, and challenge you to think of maybe that kind of play with these different phrases. Unconventionally creative, fearlessly imaginative, uninhibitedly expressive, unpredictably original, boldly independent, freely spirited, energetically unconventional, creatively uninhibited, spontaneously innovative, and unrestrainedly inventive. So just some different ways to kind of frame out that word unhinged. I wanted to really think about some very positive ways of framing out your earliest memories of just that play as a child where you just didn't have a care in the world. And then think about what that looks like for you today. And we did talk a little bit about a few of you shared, when I'm in that flow state. You might not have used those words, but you're talking about your hobbies. You're leaning into and embracing something that you love, and then you look up at the clock and it's 7 hours later because you've been working in flow. So that's where you may see that, flow as a kid versus flow as a grown up. So let's put on some more music while we work on this question, and feel free to share the things that are coming up for you in the chat. I'll be back in to check with you in just a few moments. Telling you, this is going to be like the happiest social to go back and watch. You guys are just embracing play tonight, really thinking about some fun things. Something that came to my head, I don't know why I was reading, a few of you shared being little, and I can remember in fourth grade, I have a lot of vivid memories from fourth grade. I had a great teacher, but we were given little smiley face buttons and we all pushed them into our pink pearl erasers, and then we like made this whole cosplay around them. They had names. We took our pencil boxes and made furniture for them, and it became like this quest that we all worked on so hard, and that was a memory that hasn't popped into my head in a really long time. And then also in 4th grade, I took the blue chalk and I wore eyeshadow, from, the classroom. So, yeah, that talk about unhinged. I'm sure that was a look, right? Thank you for sharing, because when we share like this, we inspire one another. Let's look at this final prompt for our page. What are some simple ways that you can integrate play into your daily life? So think about even maybe your most, the toughest times of your day. What could you put in there to just break that up a little bit? Some ideas to consider, but you get to grow out of these ideas. What does taking a break look like for you? um Playful mindfulness, like embracing that coloring page, doing puzzles, maybe doing puzzle books, even like, or your wordle, physical play, playing with your pets, family, dancing in the grocery store, having a pillow fight, creative expression, all those hobbies that just again, where we find our flow. What about your socializing looks playful? How do you incorporate that with your family, your friends, your coworkers? Being outside, maybe making new friends that way. Um, think about exploration. How do you stay curious? Is there a way to incorporate that into every day to keep that curious mindset? Drive or walk during, using different routes, explore something new, a new hobby, or embrace novelty, or Bailey. I'm going to take Bailey's word, whimsy. Find some whimsy in your life. How do you engage your imagination? And do you find opportunities to laugh often? And, it could be like you just have a feed of silly video clips where you'll go watch 5 minutes of a comedian that makes you laugh just for that break, or those inside jokes with friends, or just thinking about memories. Create a little bank of those, so that you have like your playlist to go to. So let me put on some music, and we want you to keep sharing because y'all have some great ideas. So drop that in the chat. Be back to check in with you in just a few moments. Okay, I am just smiling because a question was posed in the chat. Do you have to watch Bluey with little kids? And no, you don't have to watch Bluey with little kids. In fact, I was so inspired by you guys. I'm going to go pull up my favorite cartoon growing up was the Jetsons. And I think I'm going to go pull up the Jetsons and watch the Jetsons to find some moments of play. We had a lot of talk about music, songs, playlist, things that can kind of drive your day, starting a meeting with something fun, with a fun song. You guys had some great ideas. So thank you for sharing in the chat. You have done a great job of playing with this journal page. So now let's go get our heads in the clouds and turn to page 21. And we're going to take a look at these affirmation clouds. Now, one of the things I want to remind you is, why affirmations are important. And it's all of those things are kind of the same thing, that Pygmalion effect, the self-fulfilling prophecy, law of attraction, the idea of faking it till you make it. What we have going on in our heads is what will drive our days. And so affirmations replace those negative thoughts, those negative things that want to pop in and take over our minds. So that's why it's so important to embrace affirmations into your everyday, because there is this cycle of what you believe sets your expectations. What are you expecting? Which then, feeds your behaviors, and then that leads to results. So if we are believing negative things, then we're going to ultimately be receiving results that are not working for us. So affirmations and taking just a few moments to kind of be reflective on that. So critical. So I want to share some examples from fellow Silk and Sonder members, and just notice these beautiful clouds. They have really embraced their clouds. They've gotten to know them. They've decorated them. I'm going to just maybe you'll want to do that. You'll just want to spend some extra time with your affirmation cloud pages. You may have the perfect sticker pack. That's a perfectly great way to do your affirmation clouds. And then, again, some more examples of how folks filled out these beautiful clouds. And I'll go back and forth through these slides while you're working on this. Now, I also want to just give you some ideas to think about as you're framing out how you do these particular affirmation clouds. Consider putting maybe a focus on your cloud so that it's kind of very topical. So you could think about yourself. Is there something you want to change? And perhaps all of your affirmations have to do with that change. Or so, how do you want to be? Or is there something you need to make peace with? Maybe these all surround your hopes and your dreams. Perhaps it's a specific topic like your future or work or home, health, school, finances, growth, those things. Or maybe there's a person in your life. Maybe you're working with on a relationship. And so these affirmations are going to support that. Also, have you ever thought, if you have someone in your life, a significant other, a roommate, perhaps you create affirmations to kind of be for just your relationship with that person, or maybe there's a kiddo in your life and you want to create some affirmations that are just special to the two of you. Behaviors, attitudes, and responses. Are you getting angry? Are you tired at the end of the day? And so then you bark. Well, let's change that around by using affirmations in our life so that we can change the language that's feeding our thoughts. I always love the idea of maybe thinking about duality, the more of and less of, yesterday, today, order, chaos, just those dualities that exist in our lives. And of course, this can be all about play and how you're going to embrace it. Or maybe there's a past theme that really resonated with you. And I have shared many times that the theme of indulgence did so much healing for that inner child, Jennifer, that I do deserve to kind of treat myself every now and then. So indulgence just is living in headspace. It has never gone away. Also, I have this beautiful silk and Sonder printable to share with you. And Bailey's going to drop that in the chat. And these are 75 affirmations for instant positivity. And so you may want to grab that and, save it to your computer. Or use some of these. I know it's really little on the slide deck. So that's why you've got the link and you can print this out and you've got those. So we've got lots and lots to work with. Here are some prompts of how you could start your affirmations. Just those I statements and things to think about. So let me just go back and forth through all of these as you work on your affirmations. And, if you got an affirmation that is just hitting and it's kind of been one of those life-changing things, please share that in the chat. Let us know about that. I'm going to go off screen, play some music, and go back and forth between these slides so you can fill out these beautiful clouds. Get your head in the sky there. I'll be back to check in just a minute. The fastest hour is an hour with you, Sonder family. Our time has gone like that. If you need to grab some screenshots, let me know and I can go back and forth between them as we wrap up with our closing songs. Of course, we want to see your pages in Sonder Club. If you're comfortable, would love to see your affirmation clouds, how you embrace those. Just a shout out to the monthly sticker subscription. I love these stickers. They're vinyl. They work great with those little super fine Sharpie pens, which, oh, I just love it. Smooth writing. They're pretty, they match. So consider doing the monthly sticker subscription. And also, there is a kind of generic sticker set that you can order. And this is like a sticker pad. And so there's just a ton of different kinds of stickers in there. And it doesn't necessarily match each month, but it will match your journal. They're floral and they're soft colors and they're really nice. And so we've got those two beautiful new options for you. You can also just do the monthly, month by month. You don't have to do the subscription. Bailey's going to drop all of those in the chat for you, so you can go directly to the link. And then there, of course, are those QR codes so that you can refer a friend and get a little bonus, and they get a little bonus. You can upgrade. We love the annual subscribers. Just stay with the Sonder family, and that's a commitment. We've got that feedback survey, and so you guys had some great ideas that you shared in the chat tonight about like, oh, let's do a sticker social. So put that kind of feedback in that survey so that headquarters will see it and can bubble that up. This social has been recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch it on that private YouTube channel. And then there is my playlist. Now my playlist is super long and kind of weird because I've got the coloring social stuff in there and all that, but I'm dropping the Spotify link. If you're on Spotify and you liked some of the songs, you can come and grab those. And Bailey and I loved playing with you virtually, Sonder family or Sonder friends. Thank you for taking time for yourself and for one another by sharing tonight. I hope to see your pages in Sonder Club, and I'll see you soon. Have a good evening and find a little time to play. It's good for your brain.